So, Realme has been promising some pretty big changes for its new number series, and it looks like they're here with the 16 Pro and 16 Pro Plus. We're going to break down what's actually new and whether this is the upgrade you've been waiting for. Yeah, they weren't kidding. This year, we're seeing some major shifts in the design, the camera, and a whole lot of AI. But with these kinds of upgrades, it always raises some important questions, especially about the trade-offs between what you pay and what you get in terms of performance. So, what's new? What's different? And is it the right phone for you?
All right, first things first, let's talk about the design. It's the first thing you'll notice. And with the Pro Plus model especially, Realme has gone for a total makeover. They are clearly aiming for a much more luxurious, kind of premium feel than what we're used to seeing from them.
The whole design is really about the mix of materials. You see, the back has this really nice vegan leather-like texture, and it's paired with this subtle golden frame. The curved edges make it just feel great to hold, and honestly, that unique color really does make it stand out in a sea of similar-looking phones.
To give you a better idea of that texture, just think back to those light brown paper covers we all used to wrap our school books in. That's pretty much what the back of this phone feels like. It gives it this unique, almost nostalgic kind of feel. Now, if we move around to the front, the display's big headline feature is a peak brightness of 6,500 nits. Now, what does that massive number actually mean for you? Well, in simple terms, it means you get crystal clear visibility even when you're outside in that harsh, direct sunlight.
And it's not just about the brightness. That's paired with a super smooth 144Hz curved AMOLED panel, and the whole thing is protected by Gorilla Glass 7i. It all just comes together to create this visual experience that feels really fluid, super vibrant, and, pretty durable too.
But honestly, the next big upgrade isn't just about the hardware, it's all about the software. With the new Realme UI 7.0, the biggest changes are coming from this really deep integration of AI pretty much everywhere in the phone. Here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So you can take just a normal standard selfie, right? Then you tap on this AI Light Me feature in the photo editor, and boom, instantly, the software adds this beautiful, soft window lighting effect, almost like you were sitting right next to a big sunlit window. It's a huge change with just one tap.
And believe me, that is just scratching the surface. The camera is packed with all these AI tools. AI Style Me can turn your selfie into something that looks like a professional headshot. AI Inspiration can add new things, like completely new elements into your photos and make them look real. You even get these super practical tools for getting rid of glare from glass or for automatically framing the perfect landscape shot. The AI even tries to get into your games with a built-in gaming coach. But it's probably a good idea to manage your expectations here. You see, in testing, while it did give some real-time tips in PUBG, it didn't give any suggestions at all during BGMI gameplay. So how useful it is might really depend on the games you play.
Okay, so this brings us to the most critical part of this whole story, the relationship between the phone's price and the processor inside it. This is where that big trade-off really comes into focus.
The Pro Plus model is expected to land at around 40,000 rupees. Now that's a pretty significant jump up from the last series, and it pushes this phone into a much more premium price category. And for that price, what are you getting? The processor inside is the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4. Now don't get me wrong, this is a capable chip, but it's the price that makes this an interesting conversation. And this right here is the core dilemma. This specific processor is what you'd normally find in a phone that costs about 10,000 rupees less. So it really makes you ask the question, what exactly are you paying that extra money for?
Well, the answer seems to be the camera hardware. Realme has packed a seriously impressive camera system into this phone, and it looks like that's one of the main reasons for the higher price tag.
I mean, just look at these specs on the Pro Plus. You've got a massive 200-megapixel main sensor from Samsung, a high-res 50-megapixel telephoto lens with 3.5x optical zoom, and even the selfie camera is a powerful 50 megapixels. That's a really, really versatile setup.
And that telephoto lens is a real powerhouse. While it can technically go all the way up to 120x digital zoom, you can get genuinely usable, pretty decent photos all the way up to 30x or even 40x zoom. And that's incredibly impressive for a phone that isn't a top-tier flagship.
So, with two different models, how do you pick? Let's quickly break down the key differences between the Standard Pro and the Pro Plus to see where your money is really going. The differences really boil down to a few key areas. The regular Pro has a flat-edge design, whereas the Pro Plus feels a bit more premium with its curved edges. They also use different processors, but the biggest hardware difference is definitely the camera. The Standard Pro model doesn't have that powerful 50-megapixel telephoto lens at all.
But, and this is a really important point to remember, that whole suite of smart AI features we were talking about earlier, the photo editing, the camera assists, that's available on both the Pro and the Pro Plus. So that core smart software experience is the same no matter which one you get.
All right, let's try to bring this all together. We've got a premium design, some powerful AI, a really versatile camera, but a mid-range processor for a pretty premium price. So what's the final verdict?
I think the best way to look at it is to ask, with this very specific mix of features and trade-offs, who is the ideal person for the Realme 16 Pro series? Well, this phone is probably for you if you care more about how a phone looks and feels in your hand than almost anything else. It's for you if you want a flexible camera that's boosted by some genuinely useful and creative AI tools, and it's for someone whose daily use is mostly social media, taking photos, and some casual gaming, not someone who needs raw, top-of-the-line performance for heavy-duty tasks.
So in the end, it all boils down to one simple question you have to ask yourself. Are you willing to trade top-tier processing power for a more refined design and a smarter camera?